Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, Miami knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you wanna know, it's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings, cause they play to win. Come on in and have some fun, whether we have lost or we have won. For all things Miami, it's Dolphins Thursday.
Hello, Miami Dolphin fans. The Miami Dolphins are 5-2 as we sit here mid-week of the week, getting ready for the Miami Dolphins to take on the New England Patriots this Sunday at Hard Rock Stadium. A must-win game before we head to Germany. I'll be at the game, so it should be fun. Should be another good showing for our Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins will not take New England lightly. Hopefully, they get the win. As New England has proved, they're not as bad as some people thought. They just knocked off Buffalo in New England, and Miami had a tough time in New England. We won, but we had the game in control the whole way against the Patriots. But at the end of the day, it was only a 1-touchdown victory against New England. So they're not going to come in here and lay down. So come on, Dolphins, let's get that victory. Get to 6-2. Stay ahead of the Buffalo Bills, who play tomorrow night against one of our fellow Sunshine State teams, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, up in Buffalo, though. So that's probably going to be a dub. You never know, though. Hopefully, Tampa can shock them and knock them off and give us some help, like some other teams have recently given the Dolphins, helping out the Bills by beating the Bills. But don't sleep on the Jets. They're at 3-3, and looking around the AFC, surprisingly, there's a lot. The Ravens are up there, and the Ravens are 5-2, just like the Dolphins. Once again, Kansas City is ruling the AFC, sitting up there at 6-1. But don't forget, the Browns are 4-2. The Pittsburgh Steelers are 4-2. Cincinnati's 3-3. And they're not to be discounted. It's going to be a tough battle all the way through in the AFC. Hey, good morning, Back It Up, Ben's podcast. A big fins up to you. That's the one knock, though, I don't get on people when the Dolphins say, oh, they're only beating the bad teams or the teams that they're supposed to win. To me, that's a good thing. Good teams beat the teams they're supposed to beat. That's how New England dominated for years, because they beat all the teams other than maybe that one game a year in Miami. Yeah, but New England would win almost every game that they were supposed to win. And that's what good teams do. Because at the end, when tiebreakers come and all that, it's not going to say, oh, you beat some bad team. They're going to look at your record and say you got a better record than this team. It's not going to say you got a better record because you beat crappy teams. So win the games that you should win. And this week, as much as I just said New England might be tough and might be ready, but this is a game that we have to win. We have to win this one, because then they're going over to Germany, neutral field at least, so that can even it out. Kansas City is sitting there at 6-1. They took that first loss first week of the season, and since then they've been on a roll, winning games. So it's going to be a fun time, though, being a Dolphin fan this year, because we got some offensive output, which is always fun to watch. So, but let's not sleep on New England. That's the line of today. Don't sleep on New England. Get to 6-2. Stay on top of that AFC all by yourself, at least heading into that Kansas City showdown. And I almost think if you look around the division, it may come. Let's see. Hey, good morning, Scott. Yes, definitely. Home division game is top of priority during season. Yes, I agree. Because as much as we wanted the Dolphins to beat the Eagles, Scotty and I both said it was just a non-conference game going into that game. Not saying we didn't have a loser mentality. We both wanted them to win. But at the end of the day, we knew it was a non-conference. So if you can get this, if you would have told me, hey, beat the Eagles or beat the Patriots, and there's one there, I would have taken the Patriots. And yes, it's not sexy, it's not as good, but it's at the end of the season, it's a conference win, it's a division win, and that's more important than the Eagles. The Eagles would have just been from the narrative of, oh, we got rid of it. We can't beat a good team. Yada yada yada. You know what? That doesn't even matter because in the playoffs you're going to play good teams. Then if you don't win, then you're out, and that's when it matters. But up until then, let's just keep on beating the teams we're supposed to beat. And in the NFL, it's like a lot different than, you know, Alabama, prime Alabama national championship running days, playing, you know, Will and Mary, you know, something like that, you know. So it's a lot different than saying, oh, you're supposed to win that game. This, you know, in the NFL, anything can happen. So it's going to be a tough game. And yes, let's see. Belichick would make adjustments for sure, not a cakewalk, but should be a yes, it should be a win. I agree. I hate throwing that word should, but yes, I agree. It should be a win against the Patriots. And there's no doubt about it. And it's very important. And then if you can get that game the next week, because as a fan, we can peek a little bit forward ahead and see that Kansas City's on the docket the following week. If you win both of those games, you're sitting pretty. But if you look around the AFC picture, Dolphins may have to win the division to get in there because there's a lot of tough teams out there, and you know you don't know. So all these conference wins are very valuable. Get these conference wins. At least one of our losses was against a non-conference, and of course the other one was against Buffalo, which is a double hit when you lose to your top competitor. But let's not sleep on any of these AFC because you know Cincinnati, they're probably going to wake up. Baltimore is playing very well right now, and it's Kansas City. Well, they're Kansas City, and that whole other division, man, they got Pittsburgh. I hope they start knocking each other off though, but they got Pittsburgh with a winning record, Cleveland with a winning record, the Ravens, and then Cincinnati, like I said, is not to be slept on. So you may have to win the AFC East to to get in that picture. So who knows? Good morning, Steve. And good morning, Bobby on the Fins Talk Sports Network. Guys, make sure you go. They have a show at noon today, which is a little different for them. They're always on almost all the time, but they're not normally on at that time of day. Check them out. Bobby and Brett will have a show today at noon. So you can have Fins talk throughout the day. We all just got out of Miss Fins watching her. Now you guys are watching me. Go watch them at noon. And hey, it's a day of Fins Up talk. So it's fun. And they're great guys over there. Thank you guys for stopping by. So anyway, this week, like I say, I'll be at the game again. Not last minute, but I wasn't going to go to the game. My son said he would pay for his ticket and I would just have to pay for mine and I pay for parking. But hey, it's a little bit. So my son really wanted to go because he's never been to a division game. Of all the games he's been to, I always try to, because he came after I had my season tickets. So he's never been to a division game. And I always say, well, I don't really want it. But now he's 17. He's a big boy. So he can take it. And we're going to go see the Dolphins take on the Patriots. I'm just hoping that my section doesn't have tons of Patriot fans. And if we do, I hope we win and we silence them quick. So that will be good. Yes, Fins talk overtime at noon. Yes, guys, check them out. Of course, after you leave our fine show, go subscribe to over there if you're not already. They recently hit 1,000. They bring good content and they talk about all the sports out there. They talk football, of course. They talk basketball, soccer, wrestling, if you want to call wrestling a sport, entertainment, whatever you want to call it. They talk it all, hockey, all that good stuff. So we will see. One day they would start talking more baseball, and Brett and I or someone can start doing some baseball talk over there. Since I'm Dolphins thirsty, it's kind of hard to talk about baseball. Hey, but it's all good. I love baseball. But back to yes, the Eagles are in the rearview mirror. The Patriots are coming up on the horizon, and that's who we got to beat this week. Get back to the winning ways, get back to beating the teams that we're supposed to beat, and we will be looking good. I'm almost thinking we may have to. A Shake Money in the House, another good content provider where he can be found on the Fins Tailgate channel. And they're always on too. I don't even know their schedule, but basically you can find them early in the morning, late at night, and there's a good chance Kohler will be in there somewhere. I don't know what if that man ever sleeps. He's in the morning, he's in late night, he's in the middle of the afternoon. Kohler is seems to be 24/7 that they got working over there. But Shake Money always is cool, calm, collective. Great. He's been on my channel a couple times. He was gracious enough to have me on his channel. It's always fun over there. Hey, the one team I don't this that's the one where I agree, and I hate to admit this week that I'm a Red Sox fan because we're going against the Patriots this week. But no, I have no alliance to the Patriots whatsoever. I grew up, born and raised in the area down here, live in the 954 now, was born and raised, worked my whole career in the 305. So Dolphin fan through and through. Long story short, there was no baseball team when I was a kid. Me being stubborn, I picked a team different than every other little kid that I played baseball with back in the day. They all liked the Yankees. I said, I'm going to be different. Jim Rice is my favorite player. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to be a Red Sox fan. Little did I know they were in the middle of an 86-year drought. And, hey, but that's another story. That's for the baseball channel when Bobby gets a baseball show up and going. Yes, your Orioles had a great year. Back it up in podcast. They just ran into the buzzsaw that was the Texas Rangers in the first round of the playoffs for them. But hey, it just is what it is. So, but anyway, back to football. Hey, good morning, Ender. Good morning. Back to football. This week, the Dolphins have business to take care of. I know as fans, we all want to look forward to that Kansas City game, but we got to keep it in perspective. Belichick is not tanking. I know they ran a poll. Scotty and have been saying I just do not see the Patriots as tanking, or they wanted to play Buffalo as tough as that they played over there. They're going out for it. Belichick's not for that. Because he knows every win gets him one step closer to Don Shula. So he's not he's not getting any younger. So he wants to get to that mark. So let's go. Actually, working it for baseball, Marlins baseball. Okay, MLB baseball overall, I can do. I'm not going to be your home run hitter on Marlins content, but if it comes to that's a problem though. There are two guys that like baseball. Brett's getting into baseball. I mean, now his Phillies are out, so who knows how long he's going to stay in there. I was happy to see the Phillies lose, even though I like Bryce Harper. I was happy to see the Phillies lose last night. See a tease too. I mean, if you would have told me at the beginning of the season that the Rangers and the Diamondbacks would have been in the World Series, I would have said you're crazy. And now, if I would have met you again, I would have said, well, I hope you put money on that because you probably just made a lot of money if you bet on the Rangers and Diamondbacks making the World Series. So, I know maybe Major League Baseball some people are saying, oh, they don't like that. There's like two markets that aren't going to draw, but I think they will. I think it's going to be a good series. It's going to be fun, and I'm looking forward to it. It starts Friday night. Let's see. Scotty says, Belichick knew Matt can't get him the record. He made an agreement in the offseason. He had to take this year and get Caleb or May. Then he can get Shula's record. I hope not, Scotty. I hope they don't get one of those guys, man. That's because I don't want them having a great quarter. I want them to feel like the pain of Dolphin fans after having a franchise quarterback leave, go through years of not having a franchise quarterback. That's what I want. Not that I'm mean or anything, but yes, that's what I want. So I hope that comes to fruition. In this game, though, we'll see, Scotty, how they play this week. Historically, they do not do well when they come to Miami. Even in their championship years, they've beaten Miami a couple times down here. I'm not going to make it sound like we beat them all the time, but that was Brady's worst record coming on the road, and all the division was to the Dolphins. Some reason we played them well. We played them well down here. So hopefully that continues in the year that we're supposed to win. I hope it doesn't get flopped around that now we're supposed to win and they're not that great and then they beat us. I hope we don't have roles reversed this week. Let's just win. To me, if you would have told me we would go 2-1 over the next three, including the Eagles game, like I said, in which we already lost. But if we can beat the Patriots and the Chiefs, that's way more important than the Eagles game. To me, the Patriots is more important than the Eagles game. I know it's not getting rid of the mindset. We can't beat a good team, but hey, that we can't control. But what we can control is beating our division teams. I know this one game Belichick wants to win. He hasn't. But if you start getting up to 3 wins or whatever, I don't know if you're going to get. Well, you'll still be up there, but there's some bad teams out there, I guess. But it's going to be hard to get whoever has the Panthers pick, man. Oh, Chicago might have the first 2 picks in the draft. Who knows, man? So who knows? So maybe they got trade one of them away, or who? It's going to be a weird draft season. But yes, I want this win so bad. Now that I'm going to it too, I really want it. I always want it, of course. But the Patriots, I think they're going to be, they just beat the Bills. They're going to want to get back to the winning ways because if that'd be 3 wins if they get, and then they're getting right back in the race because the Jets are sitting there at 3 wins, and the Bills play tomorrow night, so that'd be interesting. I would love for Tampa to upset them, but that's a big ask. Being on the road on prime time Thursday night, they have to go up there. So in Orchard Park, that's a tough ask for our state, our fellow state team in the Buccaneers to go up there. But hey, I would love it if they do some sunshine loving and beat the Bills for us. But I'm assuming that they're going to win. So we got to beat New England to stay ahead because I really believe that we may have to win the AFC East to sneak into the playoffs. If you look at my other hope is that some teams, sorry if am I losing my voice, I'm getting all fired up. But if some teams in the let's see which one is it? The AFC North, hopefully they start beating each other up. But right now their records stand. I'm just going to go 5-2, 4-2, and 4-2, and 3-3. So they're all right there breathing down our necks if we lose some of the games that we're supposed to win. So let's just keep doing what we've been doing. Hey, Mr. Courtwright, good to see you back in here, Mr. Raphael Courtwright. Always great to see you. And he gives all you guys a hello. So to contract talk, Barry Jackson had an article yesterday. He says that Tua and Wilkins have more or less both been told that they're tabled until after the season, so there will be no contract extensions. Robert Hunt has been mentioned as one that they may try to get done during the season to extend him, which I hope they do. That would be good. And I'm sure they could free up some money for whatever, work it friendly next year where it doesn't take a big hit. I would like to see Hunt, and Connor Williams is another one that was a possibility that they could try to extend him. And Van Ginkel was another one. So it'd be interesting to see if one of those gets extension before the season's over. Those were the 3 names. Tua and Wilkins off the table. See how they do this year. They're going to, Wilkins will hit free agency. They will have the decision to make whether to place a tag on him or just let him walk with nothing back in return. We shall see. Yes, Michael K. I am flying solo, but it's okay because I got Scotty and Steve and Finn's Talk and all Ender and Raphael Courtwright, all the super duper fans. So never flying solo here at Dolphin Thirsty when I get that. I think Hunt and AJ should be extended. Oh, yes, AJ was mentioned too. How could I forget him? He's playing better. I forgot to mention he was mentioned in the article too as a possible extension. I think Hunt and AJ should be extended. I only extend Connor if we move him to left guard and draft a center. Let me see, Scotty. I wonder what center you want. I wonder if he happens to be a Mountaineer, but I don't know. That's all good. So we will see on that front. Jeez, man, I'm really getting excited, I guess. But I know, Scotty, I know what center you want. I'm pretty sure you're the one that says of West Virginia. You're the Mountaineer guy. Frazier or something. For me to know a center at this point in the off season, for not draft season, that's crazy. That's how often I've seen you drop the name. But yeah, so of those guys, I wouldn't mind seeing Van Ginkel extended. They asked him, he said he wouldn't comment on it. And they asked Hunt, he said, that's my agent. It may be something going on, but the stove's not hot. So I don't know. Maybe they are talking about it, but there's no deal is being close. But he did say something could maybe be done in the near future, but that the stove's not hot is how he worded it. Yeah, I do. I really believe that we should extend AJ. We find a serviceable right tackle. Took a while for him to get to that level where he's been good. And we know we were all having him out. But yes, now that you get him, you finally have him there. You really want to see him go into another team and then, having a good career and then you miss out on him. So I really think we need the offensive line up front. And that's a big part of the problem against the Eagles. We basically played three, and I'm excuses are a dime a dozen. Every fan base has them, just like noses. We all have them, and we stick them sometimes where they don't belong. So now I'm going to talk about the referees. That's old garbage. Pass. You got to still win despite those calls. But the injuries is a legitimate thing. I mean, when you're going against one of the best, if not the best defensive line you're going to face all year. I know there's other Dallas is really there's a lot of good teams that are going to have good defenses, the Jets and all of that, and Buffalo, but Philadelphia is right up there. And we basically essentially had three backups playing the whole game once Wynn went down because Lamb, as solid as he's been, he didn't have a great game. Evidently, that game, well, no one really had got great of a game that night. But so you're playing with Lamb, you're playing with Cotton, and you're playing with Eichenberg going against the Philadelphia Eagles. That was not a good recipe for victory. So, hopefully, the thing about Armstead is I don't have that much hope. Yeah, he might come back, but how long is he going to stay? That's the problem. And I mean, I like him. He's a great guy. He's a leader, they say. He wore the Marino throwback jersey almost from day one when he got interviewed. There's a lot to love about him, but unfortunately, his body seems to break down. And he's never played a whole NFL season in his whole career. But hey, he's a Dolphin. Rooting for him to come back. But it's like I'm not holding my breath when he comes back that he's going to stay in and stay healthy. So that's another one that we got to worry about. Yeah, no, you're right. Opinions are like butts. Everyone has one and they all stink. Hey, yeah, Tua has stayed healthy. That is good. But if our offensive linemen keep on going down like they've been going down, I don't know how long we're going to keep him healthy. It's been brutal. It's been brutal. It's like every game another offensive lineman is getting banged up. So, and like I said, we have razor thin depth. I mean, you can't be 2, 3 deep in every position, obviously, on the NFL roster due to money and flexibility of the cap and all that. You still can't be deep at man on the offensive line. We are razor thin, because we didn't even have a true backup center going into and then what happens? Connor Williams misses some games. A guy that never played center at any spot in his whole career has to step into the NFL and be asked to play center. That's not an easy ask. I mean, playing for the first time at that position on the NFL level. I mean, that's rough. And again, those sounds like excuses, but the reality is the Dolphins had their B offensive line against the A grade Philadelphia Eagles defensive line. That kid Carter fell into the Eagles' lap. Eagles in the Super Bowl last year, but due to a trade, they have a first round pick. Due to all that bad story about his driving incident and racing, Carter falls. Eagles being in the Super Bowl probably get one of the best, if not best, prospects in the whole entire draft fall into their lap. So sometimes it's great being run well, and sometimes a little luck falls your way and someone falls into your lap. So that is just insane. Hey, good morning, Anthony. I may drop a link in a little while, Anthony. Right now, I'm just flying solo, because I'm not going to be on that long, and just here to talk somebody. I will, Anthony, in about 5 minutes or so, drop a link for anyone that wants to join for sure. But just to give you the heads up, I'm not going to be on super long. Um, who else? Oh yeah, but Van Ginkel. I would like to see Van Ginkel extended outside of the offensive linemen that were on that list. I would like to see Van Ginkel because to me, he's probably been one of our best defensive players this year. He's definitely done much better on the edge. And I know we got Phillips and we got Chubb, so it's hard to get him repetitions there. So he's been playing a lot of other, but he plays a lot of defensive snaps. But but I like Van Ginkel, and I would like. I thought he was gone this past off season. I thought for sure Van Ginkel would be playing for New England or someone up there. And then the next thing I know, I read where we extend them. Evidently, Fangio is a big fan of Van Ginkel, according to Barry Jackson's article. I don't have that inside information, so I don't know. Fangio doesn't tell me, hey, I'm a big fan of this guy. Just going what Barry Jackson said, and there's the main reason that he talked the Dolphins into bringing back Van Ginkel when it was all but a foregone conclusion that Van Ginkel was going to walk. Fangio really liked what he saw on film. So hopefully, some way, somehow, they work. They did get Zach Zeeler's contract in there. So, some guys that we were thinking may be gone, we did fit into the cap. Ingold's coming back. So there are ways to maneuver. So we will see on that. Rob, do you think you have to do with these, all the injuries and old staff? I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I know injuries happen to all the teams. You probably just spot on, but I would have to see because the Dolphins evidently, Ross goes all out in technology and trying to find the way to keep players healthy. But at the end of the game, football is a rough sport and people are going to get hurt. And it's a freak thing because Armstead he got rolled up on. That's going to happen no matter what kind of training you're in. But no, you bring up a good point. I sometimes wonder that too because it's like we just always seem to get the injury bug. Yeah. Having to play Lamb, Cotton Ike instead of Armstead, Wynn, and Connor, yet the media is clueless as to why offensive struggles on the road against top three. I know. That's perfect, Scotty. And like I say, not excuses. We lost the game. No referees, no injuries excuse. We lost the game. But come on, you're exactly right. When you go against you're playing three basically backup offensive linemen going against one of the best defensive fronts in football. I mean, hey, it is what it is. But I agree. I love how they just skip over to that narrative. The one that scares me a little bit is Tyreek kind of hinted it at a couple times. That is why you don't see as many as emotions on the road and loud. Like in against the Chargers, it was fine because it was basically a Dolphins fan base from all the noise you could hear. But like when you travel to New England, travel to Buffalo, and travel to Philadelphia, they don't hear. So Tyreek on his podcast, evidently, I don't watch it. I didn't see this podcast. I see it sometimes, but I didn't see it. I see clips of it. But he said that they don't hear as well on the road and that he can't take up the field as fast as he can't time it as well as he does at home. So obviously that could be a little flaw in the offensive system too. I haven't heard a lot of people really picked up on it on the media perspective, but from what Tyreek said, I was like, ooh, that's not good. Eagles defensive line is behind Jets, Patriots. Well, I don't know about behind the Patriots, man. That Eagles defensive line, Michael K, is pretty good, man. Pretty good. But we'll see, man. And we already handled the Patriots okay, but we did have some starters in that game. Let's see. Apparently, League of Fish. Hey, Newfoundland. Kudos to Newfoundland. Always. I always think of Chase Claypool when Newfoundland comes in the Dolphins Thirsty channel. Apparently, league officials admitted to Jim Ezra on missed calls. Can't imagine McD didn't get the same. That's just. Oh, I'm sure they did. Let's see. Hill needs to make up some hand signals for Tua. Yeah, there you go. I agree. Hopefully that can work because I mean we're going to need the offense to travel well in the playoffs because unless you have home field advantage throughout the playoffs, you're going to have to deal with loud vocal crowds and you're not going to be able to do all of that. And like I said, I haven't heard anyone. I just heard what Tyreek Hill said about it himself. I didn't hear people in the media saying that, oh, they can't hear the signals and all that. Tua, Hill just basically said that on his podcast. Hold on, I would get you there. What does it seem like Miami sign players or trade players are basically? Yes, that is an issue, Anthony. Very good issue. It's I don't know, man. Obviously, it's not something I like, but you're right. We signed Armstead full well, knowing that Armstead had an history of injuries. I mean, it is true, but it's and let me see. I'm going to get to your next one. Why does it seem like finding quality offensive linemen and quality linebackers? Well, for one, offensive linemen, when you're good, teams don't tend to want to get rid of a good offensive lineman because, in general, it's so hard to find a good offensive lineman. When you get one on your team, you normally don't want to lose them. There's not that many, 300-pound men walking around with the coordination to play NFL football or what have you. High 200s, 300 pounds. You get the general, big dudes that can also have the coordination and speed and wherewithal to play in the NFL at an offensive line position. It's not easy. So when you get one, man, that's why I don't want to lose Hunt. That's why I don't even want to lose A.J. Jackson at this team or Connor Brill, man. You get these guys on your team and you finally get an offensive lineman. You don't want to have them walk out the building. So I think that's why it's hard to get offensive linemen. The only way you're going to get a good offensive lineman is like when the Dolphins gave up Tunsil because we were a team getting rid of talented players to build for the future. So you would have to find some team like that, but then you're going to pay. You're going to pay if you want a star stud offensive lineman. It's just so hard to find those men walking around the planet. And as far as linebackers, you may be able to find better deals on linebackers, but again, it has to be from a team that's not playing well. Kind of like baseball. Teams that are out of contention by the trade deadline, then they start going for their younger guys. In football, maybe for draft picks, whatever have you. Baseball, they go for the prospects, and then you can get some talent that way on a trade. But linemen, I find it's really tough. Good morning, Manny. I hope to see you Sunday, maybe. I know it's always hectic on game days, but I'll be out there, Manny. But I don't normally get there until around 11. I know you're always out there super duper early. I normally get to the stadium around 11, but hope to run into you, man. Oh, guys, make sure you check out his show, Battered Fins, Fins Fans. Great content. And yes, he actually co-hosts with a New York Jets fan. But lo and behold, it's one of the coolest New York Jets fans out there. Probably the coolest because I don't know many cool New York Jet fans. But one of my best friends, but he's a New Yorker. He's a Jet fan and a Yankee fan. I got to deal with him in both sports that are my rivals. But other than that, his guy, Daniel, really super dude guy. Make sure you check out his. I'm taking my younger cousin. Oh, Manny, how could you, Manny? How could you bring a Patriots fan into our stadium, man? Oh, Manny, I may take back all the good stuff I said, but it's all good and fun. It's just a game at the end of the day, and that's awesome, Manny, that you're taking some younger dude to go to a football game. That is awesome. Just wish he rooted for the Dolphins. Get someone like Derek Brown makes the most sense to me. Hey, Scotty, man, I got a lot of stuff. Let's see. And Anthony, I've said multiple times that people realize tackle, guard, and center have so many injuries because it's natural. No, you're right, Anthony, 100% on that. It's not natural to be carrying that much weight on their frame And then on top of that, not just carrying on your frame, pounding people every single snap. It's not natural. And then cutting and doing all the things that they do on a football field. It's just, the body wasn't made to play NFL football. That's for sure. I don't care how big, how strong you are, you're still going to get injuries because even if you don't get an injury taking a hit, man, just cutting because your muscles, these guys are in tip top shape and they're cutting on a dime. People get hurt often on non contact injuries. It's just crazy. Let's see. I hope you eat some of your. I hope you eat some of your bearded fanatic. Hey, but this, like I said, make sure you guys get check him out. Courtright, what's popping? Uh, oh, you'll be there again. Hey, I would love that. Shake money. Like I said, I'll probably get into the stadium at around 11-ish or whatever. I'm not one of those super early because I always park on the opposite of guys and try to talk my son. And, I could drag him, I guess. I am still the boss, but, he's going to be complaining that we're going all the way to the other side of the stadium because where I park is like, well, where I in Broward, they call it University Drive, but it's off right off. I park in lot 32, which is right off. Right off University Drive, 27th Avenue, whatever you want to call it in Dade County. So it's right there. So I got it, and you guys to a foot, all you guys on the complete. So I got to walk all the way out there. It's hot. Even my old butt says, "Oh, I just want to get in the shade of the stadium at this point." So, but I may go looking for you guys. I don't know where you guys tailgate, but all the other ones, like the Finns tailgate, the Finns Talk Sports Network, when they did it for the Panthers game, they were on the complete opposite side. So I didn't even go all the way over to theirs. But I will find you. I know. The reason I know why is because a few friends who are working in the sports therapy industry said the guys that they get for the most are offensive linemen. No, I know. That's big. That's hard, man. Hey, Justin, digging in the trenches. AJ Dewey jersey. I ordered through this man right there. Digging in the trenches. Yes, I just dropped an AJ Dewey reference on a show in 2023, but I don't care because he was my first favorite player of all time. AJ Dewey, number 77 out of LSU, that had 3 interceptions against the New York Jets in the 1982 championship game in a muddy Orange Bowl against Richard Todd. Thank you for Richard Todd for helping the Dolphins get to the Super Bowl. Dolphins, why did you have to lose that Super Bowl once you got there? And if you wonder who Richard Todd is, he's the New York Jets quarterback that threw to his favorite target that day was AJ Dewey. So that was awesome. So when it comes to serious injuries, because you're carrying around so much weight and heights, it's not conducive. No, it's not, Anthony. Big people in general have more stress on the heart, more stress and all of that, they say. So, yeah, and then when you're running around out there on top of that playing NFL football, hey, it's tough. But that's why if I get an offensive lineman, I'm locking them up. As Digging in the Trenches often says, if he was building a football team, he would build from the inside out, starting on the offensive and defensive lines, then worrying about the skill positions. Get those guys locked into your team, and then all those skill positions all of a sudden look a little bit better because they have time to throw the ball, time to run the route, find a little more gaps to hit as the running back. It all starts up front. As advanced as offenses become, at the end of the day, football's still a brutal sport that is run on the front lines. So I agree with that. Mr. Courtright, it depends. My son played left tackle and I got some school offers. His main was his shoulder. Hey, I don't. There you go, man. So, hey, your son played left tackle. He must be a big. My son's unfortunately kind of. Well, my one son got to like 6 foot. That's like big in my family because I'm like 5'8". My other son's like 5'9", and my other son made almost like 6 feet. We give him 6 feet because he's like 5'11" and a half. And for a Mosley man, let's get him. Let's just say he's 6 feet because rounding up's a good thing. So he's like the only guy that my 17-year-old's up there almost like 6 feet. So that's good. Oh wow, yeah. My son is like 6 feet, but probably like 100, not even 154. He's like a skinny little guy, but hey, he is at least the 6 foot part. I mean, a little bad because my son got full ride, but stopped playing ball. My second son year and wow, wow, second year in college at Fringeau State. Wow. So I mean, he definitely had some talent there, sir. Definitely had some talent. Awesome, though. I know. Oh, all right. So you come from a pretty tall guy. So, well, he comes from a pretty tall guy, so that makes more sense. My sons were fighting the DNA machine from the get go, the gene pool. But hey, they're good kids, so I don't care. That's all that matters. They've grown up to be good young dudes. Let's see. Andre the Giant. There's a name from the past. Yeah, I know that was tough for sure. That was tough. Andre the Giant. That's like when I used to watch wrestling back in the day when I was young. That's the name from the past. It's been a while. So, but yeah, that's the name I know. So, guys, our Dolphins stand at 5-2. We sit atop the AFC East. If at the beginning of the season you would have told me we were 5-2 and alone in first place after 7 games, I would have taken that. Granted, it would have been nice to beat the Bills in Buffalo to get that monkey off our back. We didn't. It would have been nice to beat Philadelphia, but that would have just been the cherry on top of the beautiful chocolate sundae with hot fudge and whipped cream. That would have just been a little cherry on top. But that was a non-conference game. We had 3 backup offensive linemen, and we got beat by a whole bunch of elements that night. So at the end of the day, 5-2 after 7 games. I think most Dolphin fans would have taken that in the beginning of the season if offered. Hey, your team be alone in first place, 5-2 after 7 weeks of the NFL season. I think most of us would have snatched that up and said, okay, I don't care what behind curtain number 13. I'm taking that prize because that's good enough right there, 5-2. So that's how I look at it. At the end of the day, like people say, oh, they can't beat the good teams. So what if you would have beaten Buffalo and beaten Philadelphia, but lost to all the bad teams we played? So then our people are going to be happy. Oh, we can beat the good teams, but we're 2-5 and outside of the playoffs looking in. So say if you say the Chargers are a good team, then we're 3 and whatever. So it's to me, it's so say we're like in 3-4 or something like that. So you got to beat the teams on your schedule. 2 of them we didn't beat. And we got to beat the Patriots this week, who's on our schedule. That's how I look at it. Dolfan. I know it's confusing how many bad everyone makes my out to be yet weird. I agree, Scotty. That's what I say. And yes, I know and I could be a little, let's see. Sunday 5-3 and second behind Bills. Just because just because your Bills lost to the Patriots doesn't mean we're going to lose to the Patriots, Michael K. We already beat them in New England, where you just lost to them, Michael K. So let's not get too ahead of ourselves. And I'm not saying it's going to be an easy game, but let's not get too ahead of yourselves. No, we can't finesse our way to a ring. Prove me wrong, please. Yes, there will be needed. Hey, Justin is in the house, though. He is in the house. So let's see there. Scotty, you're only as good as your last game. Good morning, G Man. But yeah, no, Justin and Scotty, you're only as good. But yeah, this is true. But we're still 5-2 at the end of the record. So you could say you're only as good as your record says you are, and our record says we're 5-2. But yeah, I'm not saying we don't have flaws. We got a lot of stuff. Our offensive line worries me, especially without Connor Williams in there and Armstead in there, and now no win. Yes, those are real life concerns, Justin, and you are 100% correct to be worried about those issues. So I do worry about it. Well, we'll see, Michael K. It's so funny that you love to throw rocks at the Miami Dolphins when your Buffalo Bills are sitting behind us. Yes, you can hang your banner that you beat us up there, but it's funny, and you were like life and death to beat the Giants, who we easily beat. You almost lost. You could have easily lost 3 games in a row. So I wouldn't be like beating my chest if I was a Bills fan right now, sir. Yes, that's my little troll on you, Mike. Okay. Yes, and all coming back. Maybe they can actually get healthy and get better by December. Yes, I agree, G man. They can get better. The one in guy that really worries me is Armstead because it seems like every time he does come back, maybe he would just have a magical run in him this year. Because if he's there, he's a big, big part of our success. I'd rather have Lamb as that swing tackle guy, and being the prime guy every week, being the starter. I'd much rather have him as the backup, ready to go, knowing that he can at least fill in at a good level if need be. But you get Armstead out there, you get Connor back out there. I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know if it's going to be Robert Jones, it's going to be Cotton. Does Eichenberg go to left guard? I know that name, but does Eichenberg go, like if Connor Williams comes back, does Eichenberg go, or do they just go with Cotton? That's going to be a telltale sign on what they really think of Eichenberg if they come back. If Connor Williams comes back, when Connor Williams comes back, he is going to be coming back. I don't know if it's this week or they're going to save him for the Kansas City game. So when Connor comes back, does Eichenberg fill in that left guard? Is it Robert Jones or is it Lester Cotton? Cotton's the one that got the call this past Sunday night. He didn't do too well, according to all the people that look at that, and he did have the penalty on the Tyreek Hill touchdown that he got flagged for holding. So you did have that. So it'd be interesting to see who our fit at left guard is, assuming Wynn's not coming back. Teams don't want to peak too soon in the season. We got our guys coming back after the bye. We are right on target to take full control. And I'm kind of hanging with you there. I'm trying to hang with you there, Scotty. That's how I'm looking at it. Maybe because in years past, the Dolphins have faded down the stretch. So, let's not worry about so much as of right now. Let's The Dolphins need to control what they can control, and all they can control is who they play in each week. They can't worry about whether the team has a losing record coming in, whether they have a winning record coming in, whether they're the best team, the worst team. They got to play who's coming in. This week it's New England. Get that W, Miami. Whether you cover the spread, you don't cover the spread, I don't care because I don't care. But just win the game at the end of the game. You'll be 6-2, and heck, you're in good control in the division if you can get to 6-2. And because it's not like Buffalo doesn't have tough games, Mr. Michael K. They got a lot of possible losses coming up on their schedule too. If you want to point our hard games coming up, I can point to your hard schedule coming up. So it should be a fun ride. And I hope that the Dolphins can stay on top of the division. That's what my big hope is. Because I really think the AFC is going to be a wild, wild west the whole way through. A lot of good teams. Winning the division is the one guaranteed of having a home game and the one guaranteed of making the playoffs. I don't want to be in the wild card group this year because there's a lot of teams battling for that wild card spot. And it could get down to the finest of tiebreakers. So do you really want to hold your breath waiting to win a tiebreaker against some team and you need this team to lose? Take control, Miami. Go get that AFC East crown. Take it off Buffalo's head because they don't know what to do with it once they get to the playoffs anyway. There, I would throw some shade at Buffalo. Bills only lost to the Bills and Eagles. Bills lose are from the bottom trailers. Well, they did lose. I'm going to say the Jets. The Jets worry me, man. We're all discounting the Jets, but quietly they're sitting there at 3-3 and have really a good defense. Yes, if you can start putting up points against, that's going to be it. If you can put points against the Jets, you're going to win the game because they're not going to match you in points. But that defense, if they're playing at their prime, It's a lot easier said than done than get points on there. So, yes, I agree. I think resting Connor because they had already said that Connor Williams probably shouldn't have played against the Giants. That set him back a little bit. So because they brought him back, then he played against the Giants, and then he was injured again, and now he's missed. So yes, they should have not brought him back. I think they learned from that. They're not going to rush him back. They may miss him. He may miss again this week. And yes, it's tough to take these L's right now because he's not in there. But long term, it might be for the better. Oh no! Hey, thank you, Michael K. But yeah, whoa, I'm not taking no one lightly. Yes, digging, you never do. You're a week by week guy. I can vouch for you on that front. Not stupid. Those your facts, Michael K. Shaking your head on your take. So, but hey, man, other than Michael K, we can all agree the one thing that we want in this room, other than Michael K, we want the Dolphins to win, and we want them to play well this week against the New England Patriots. Choose our robes on. Yes, Steve. Steve and I. Hey, man, make sure you guys check out Steve. He's on my channel a lot, and he's also on the Fins Talk Sports Network. And he'll be hosting the host flying solo, like I'm flying solo today on Sunday morning because I'll be on my way to the game. I got the tickets yesterday. I'm like, what the heck? Especially when my kid said he would put up his own hard-earned money that he would go and pay for his ticket. I'm like, hey, that's a good offer. I'm only paying for myself, so let's rock and roll and go watch the Dolphins one more time. I just hope, like I say, because I'm going to be sitting in section 351 this week. I just hope there's not a lot of New England fans up there. That's all my only hope because they can get a little bit obnoxious. And like I said, I'm a Red Sox fan, and I've been to Fenway Park, so I know the mentality of fans up there, but I'm born down here, so I don't have that same mentality. But they take it to a whole other level up there, and they're a little cocky from all the winning they've done in recent years. So I don't want to have to deal with them. I just hope the Dolphins put a beat down on them. Because we had some Denver fans in the crowd no Carolina fans really for the most part. But when I was there on the Denver game, we had some, but when you put 70 points on a team, that makes them quiet real quick. They were leaving early. They are leaving early. Tua needs to step up, yes, versus good defenses. I agree, G man. They Tua will have to step up, and so will the whole team for that matter. Let's see, Jeffrey Simmons. I don't know what Scotty said. I have to go back. Oh, okay. We need maybe no. He said something after that. Oh, okay. There you go. Trent says, "How with that name are you not staying? Get deal." How with that same are you not saying get well, I know Trench's had been saying he wanted Hakeem Hicks. I don't know if Hakeem Hicks finally signed or just retired or whatever, but I know he was calling for that name. Yeah, I know. I think Tua's been he's been playing well. I know people want him to really step up in some of those games, like against the Bills or against the Eagles, but those really aren't. He's not the reason we lost those games. And I'm not making excuses for anyone on the team. Those were team losses. Just like I don't give him like the credit for beating the Denver Broncos set by scoring so many points. It was a team win. There will be a day that we're going to have to depend on Tua, put the team on his back, and then go see if he can get us to the victory. And those days are coming because none of these games have played out against the Chargers. Actually, the game was on his back and he beat the Chargers. I know some people won't call the Chargers a good team, but that game, he had to get a winning drive at the end of the game. He marched down the field, threw a beautiful pass to Tyreek Hill that I still can't believe he got in there. So, so far, he did answer the bell once this year, but how the other games has fallen, the blowout, I'm not saying that Tua was the reason we blew out those teams. And I'm not saying the losses, Tua's not the reason we lost those games. Did he do things to win the game? No. But did he do things that we lost? No. He threw the one interception towards the end of the game. That wasn't a pretty pass at all. But other than that, he played pretty well against the Eagles. We just didn't get the big play that game for the most part, and our running game wasn't as good. But again, we were down to playing three backups against a very good Philadelphia Eagles front. So it's all good. I'm almost at the end here, guys. I will, Anthony, if you let's see. If you want to come in here still, I can drop a link. I'm about done in 5 to 10 minutes. Rob, apparently, according to reports, NFL is going to look into the referee for both Dolphin game and the other team that got screwed by. Well, I mean, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? Even if they look into it and fine them, suspend them, it's not going to get us a W, but they should be looked into. I mean, for sure. But it just is what it is. We will see once OI get healthy. Did you impose a will on their team? Run it down. I think we weren't doing that to the extent maybe you want it, Justin, but I think you will agree that they were doing it better this year. But then we just met with the demise of. I mean, we need to get Armstead back and hopefully he stays. Like I say, to me, I'll hold my breath when I say Armstead. So, but it is what it is. But get Connor back in there. That will at least anchor the line. And then it'd be interesting to see what we do at left. So what about you guys? I didn't even see what your guys respond. So at left guard, do you think it's going to be, say Connor Willems comes back at center? Do you see Eichenberg at left guard? Do you see Robert Jones at left guard? Or do they just continue to roll with Cotton since we don't know what Wynn's doing? So, but you can't go away. Oh, no, I know. You still got to try to pound the ball. And they had a couple okay runs in the second half against the Eagles when they got Mozart to the outside. They're going up the gap. Was ugly that game. They were just getting hammered the minute. But when they got to the outside a couple times, Mozart did have some decent runs. So, but a little too late, I guess, as they say. So Robert Jones, yes. So far, the early votes are coming in, and the early polling people, and Robert Jones is leading the pack. It looks like he's been nominated by Dolphins guy to be the guy at left guard. And so let's see. So he's recently back from injury. Maybe that's why they went with. I don't know. I don't know why. I can't even pretend to know why they went. But I would rather see him. I'd rather see Jones than Cotton too. I would much rather see that. So I think we all agree we don't want to see Eichenberg there, but I did throw that name out there because it is a possibility. He has played guard before, but he may just be like the backup guy once Connor comes back. Robert Jones, but is that a vote? I know Diggin love Robert, so I think that's a vote for Steve for Robert Jones. So definitely it seems like fans are all for Robert Jones. Let me see. Show's almost over, guys, but I will drop because Anthony had asked for a link and I forgot to give it. So I let someone chime in if they want to join for the last minute. Crescent all you as execution plays hall. Or is it Crescent for all? Is it execution or play calls? That I think execution's the biggest thing, but yes, there's always going to be some call, some worries about play calling. But to me, it's the execution of the play calls and guys committing penalties when they do execute and certain things like that. But, now on the defensive side of the ball, I don't know. It's hard for me to pick on the offense because, yes, they only got the one touchdown this last week against the Eagles on the offensive side of the ball. So it wasn't their best performance. But I'm not gonna let one game dictate my whole view of the overall offense that has been playing well. So yeah, backups always struggle with execution, which is basically why they're backups and they don't get enough reps and stuff. I agree. And let's see. Yes, we do have to stop with the penalties. They look like last year's squad. McDaniel worried me. He's not a discipline. Yes, that's the one knock. Steve actually pointed that out on his show last night. That's the one thing where McDaniel is not, he needs to run a little tighter ship on especially pre-snap penalties. There was no excuse that we had to delay a game on one, that basically our first drive of the game, like you're not ready to go with the script and you like messing with the play. Then another first play of the drive later in the game, we had to burn a timeout. So there are things like that that he has to. And I'm a big drinking, if this is water, but if it was Kool-Aid, it'd be Mike McDaniel Kool-Aid because I'm drinking his Kool-Aid. I love him as a coach. But yes, I wish there was a little more Flores discipline as far as the offensive penalties, especially pre-snap ones. Ones that happen during the play, I can live with. But like false starts or jumping off sides or lining up in the neutral zone, that stuff drives me batty because that you should know not to do. I mean, if you're going to get called for a hold and that hold protected from Tua, almost wanted to say Shula, Tua getting his head knocked off, please hold the guy. I'd rather not have Tua get his head knocked off. Hold the freaking guy. Doesn't matter. But offensive lineman Eichenberg, you're not a receiver. Don't run down the damn field like you're a receiver and be an illegal man downfield on a touchdown play. You got to get stupid stuff like that out. But for the most part, like I say, if stuff happens, if your defensive back ends up interfering a guy, they're going to call it whatever. Those plays happen in football. But I 100% agree. The pre-snap penalties, they need to go. Those are the ones that shows you're not a disciplined football team. So I agree, though, with that. The penalties need to get that. Yep. No, I know. There was definitely our head coach to be make. Oh, let's see, Justin. Justin, you're coming in right at the end, but thank you. How are you today, Justin?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Glad to see you're rocking the show out. You're doing a great job, man. Keep up the great work.
Well, thank you.
Everybody, don't forget you're listening to a Dolphins Thirsty production. Slap that like and subscribe button. If you're going to order something, hit his Fanatics link so he gets some help out. He's doing a great job every day out there promoting for our team, throwing down for everybody. It's crazy. It's kind of like last year's the way I'm starting to see this a little bit. I love Mike McDaniel. I think he's going to be a great coach one day. I just don't think that's right now. He's a good coach, but not great. What he needs to think about doing is kind of like what I've been preaching since last year. Really tired of seeing us wing this thing around all the time. And I know they were getting stuffed against the Eagles during the first half. But during the second half, they started opening up some lanes and started hitting some creases and started hitting some runs. You still have to run the ball. It's a matter of getting out of your own way. I still believe in the theory, anything 3rd and 6, I'm probably going to run the football, but he's not doing that right now. He's using a lot of motion, a lot of window dressing. So let me explain this to you. When Patriots kind of set it all up, putting the 3 safeties back and set up a blueprint for everybody, then the Bills use the same thing that allows your safeties to be able to come up into the run support, all that crap. You have to counterpunch that stuff. So when the window dressing stuff with all the motions and inside out motion from outside to inside don't work, and everything you're using, Joe motion, orbit motion, whatever, you have to start lining it up and being like, okay, hat on a hat, we're going to beat you for 5 yards of carry. You're averaging 8.5 yards of carry already. I don't understand the concept or the theory behind let's just sit back and wing it out, wing it around because you have Tyreek and all these weapons. That's great. That's great. But when you're playing bully ball, you got to line up and be like, no, I'm going to beat you all day if I have to by lining it up against you and running it down your throat, running it down your neck. And how you do that is you line it up and you just run it. You say we're a finesse team. That scares the hell out of me because you can't just be a finesse team. You have to be a finesse team that has a little bit of power when you have to have it. When you have to have 5 yards, I need 6. Do you see what I'm saying to you? You have to literally line up and beat somebody, and they're not doing that. It scares me.
Hey, Dad Dean. Fins up to you, Dad Dean. The Dolphins open line. And no, you're right. We definitely got some injuries. Hopefully, though, that we get some of them back. But Mosert's still in there. Ahmed's okay. And
we can't use the injuries things forever. Like, oh, well, we have injuries, so we're just going to be mediocre and be okay with that. That's terrible. There's other teams out there that have injuries too. Don't tell me the Eagles don't have injuries. Don't tell me the Niners don't have injuries. Don't tell me the Chiefs don't have injuries. All of those teams have injuries. This is football. Everybody does. If you can execute the system and just line up there and have an attitude, have a function, you don't want to show all these teams that you're just finesse. Be like, no, we can power too. Don't tell me the Dolphins can't line up and power it in there and do inside zone runs that are power, a trap run, a power run, and then mix up the outside zone scheme runs, because I've seen us do it. You ran for 355 yards. Yes, it was the Broncos. Are they in the NFL? Do they have a defense in the NFL? Yes. Yeah. Okay, that's my point. Same thing against the Patriots. They just beat the Bills. Patriots just beat the Bills. We ran for 222 yards against them. Do you think that came from just being winging it around? No, it comes from an attitude, from lining up and be like, this is what we have to do to win the game. When you get into a primetime game versus the Eagles, the Chiefs, any of these teams, you need to start showing an attitude, a swagger, especially on offense, that we're here to fight you all day. And it starts right up front. And you just got to take it to them. And if you don't, you're going to lose.
Yep. No, well said. And like I say, we do need to get some of the offensive linemen back, Scotty. You're right. Believe me, Justin knows. He's just saying we can't keep on having excuses for that. That's all he's saying. But yes, we would love to have
hang your hat on those injury things, dude. You just can't. Yeah, we'll be better once we get those guys back. But does that take us over the hump in a playoff game in Kansas City because you couldn't handle your business and get a playoff game at home? Answer that.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Some people are chiming in on what they don't have guys with nasty personalities, Justin.
Then you don't have a winning football team. Well, I don't know how many times I got to explain this to you guys. We don't have you say we're finesse. We don't have guys that are mean. We don't have dogs. Well, then you have a losing football team, because when you get into the playoffs, it's not going to just be this, oh, well, hey, man, we're friends in the NFL and we're buddies afterwards. No, I'm trying to mess you up every damn play, bro. Every snap. I'm going to break your face. And that's how you have to do this.
But I say you don't want to hurt. You're always the first guy that get mad when people say you're going to hurt someone. So just make it clear, because
no,
that you want to hurt.
It's not that. It's that it's a violent sport, bro. And then it's violent already, so why not just go all out? That's what I'm saying. You can't hold back, and they're holding back. They're playing passive aggressively. Don't tell me they're not, because they are.
Yeah. Let's see who's in the booth. Didn't see Wilton line off. I know. It's just that those are just mistakes that you got to clean up for sure, my friend. I mean that's coaching. It's someone has to see, like, hey, tell them, make sure, because he's done that a couple times this year, unfortunately. So you just got to make sure.
Oh, yeah, the lining up on the neutral zone, being offsides, the pre-snap penalties, the not getting the play in quick enough. Yeah. I thought all this was solved. What he really needs to do is be giving two plays at once and be like, if you see this look, run this. If you see this versus that, run the other one. So, honestly, they just need to get their crap together and everybody be on the same page. Let's get back to what we were doing earlier. Because I know everyone's like, well, we were airing it out. No, we were balanced. We were balanced.
We were definitely balanced in the beginning. And hopefully coming back home this weekend, we seem to be a better team at home. I don't know if it's just because of the opponents we've played, the weather, the fans, being able to hear I don't know. We've played better on the ground and in the air, though. That's the old song.
I honestly think it's a matter of execution when you need it in the red zone, where you have to be crisp. You can't have mistakes. You can't make bad passes. You can't make bad reads. You can't run the wrong route. You can't do the things that you do that cost you games. You have to be on your P's and Q's. I don't think it's a matter that we can't play on the road. I disagree. We started the year on the road and won 2 games. Like, this is a matter of him changing what he's doing right now. Like, literally, dude, it's just like last year. Everybody caught on to what we were doing, and he didn't have a counterpunch for that.
Yeah. Nope. You got to be born in, dog.
It's not rocket science.
Hey, no, I agree, Justin. And
right now, if say you're going from flash and dash, and you're in a game like you were the other day, where they're taking the flash and dash away, they're taking Tyreek away, they're taking Waddle away, they're taking our passing game away. What better thing to lean on would be to have someone like a Derrick Henry, or someone you could just be like, here, give me 5 yards. Here, give me 10 yards. Here, maybe you'll snap one. You got to have somebody that you can lean on other than him. Don't tell me that, like, imagine adding Saquon to what the Ravens are doing right now. That would make them unstoppable. So you stamp something like that in the backfield for the Dolphins. It makes the Dolphins a pretty damn potent offense, because now we can do both. Now people who are like, oh, well, they can't play bully ball. Well, we got Derrick Henry. We'll just bully you over. That's what you need to do. You need to find something like that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree, Justin. You are 100% right. And as far
Dude, we were
as, you
talking
know, you
about this
need to
during
be
the summer.
balanced.
Remember
Yeah, I
us
know that you
talking
need
about
to
this
be
during the summer?
balanced, but there are some. It's hard to stay balanced, like people are pointing out in the chat when you get a lot of people banged up on the offensive front. But you know, we got to manage it because
Why?
we got
Why is it hard to stay balanced when you're banged up front? Yes, it's execution. Yes, they're backups. I get all of that. But it's not that. It's that Mike McDaniel is scared of it. It's like you can't be scared of the defensive lines. You just got to go right at them. You can't run
Yeah.
from these guys. You can't hide from people in the NFL with your play calls. And he's running and hiding. You have to literally line up and go at them.
No, I agree, and bro, hey, Mr. Courtwright, I think Chris Brooks, but unfortunately, he's one of the guys that we talk about being injured. But I think he could be good. I mean, I'm not going to put him in the Henry class yet, but the stiff arm, yeah, he's good at that. But unfortunately, he's another guy that's down injured. But we will see.
Yeah, I wish he wouldn't have got hurt because I think that was the game plan going forward. Having a mutter, a guy that runs in between the tackles, a guy who runs angry. That's Chris Brooks. But
Yeah.
now he's hurt. I honestly think you got to pivot now.
Yeah. No, hey, and enjoy the ride. I am enjoying the ride, Dad Dean, for sure. That's how a Dolphin Thirsty rolls. Try to enjoy the ride. But yeah, we still, of course, at the end of the day, want to play off.
Hard to enjoy when you're 45 and you got one playoff win under your belt, bro. You'd like to see some success here.
Hey, that success is coming soon, Justin. That's what we keep on telling ourselves. So I like living that dream, but hey, let's see. I'm almost done, Justin. So I just looked at the time, Justin. You made the last 10 minutes fly by. I was going to keep you on for like a minute. And then here I look down at 11:12. I got to roll, as you know, my schedule.
Right. Yeah, I got to get my butt to work myself. Much love for having
Justin,
me on, man. Appreciate you, boss.
Big thanks up to you. Thank you for stopping by, man. You rock. And then I'm going to close out here. Guys, fins up to all of you. You guys rock. Make sure you check out some great content coming later on the Fins Talk Sports Network. They'll be rolling at noon. Good guys over there. Scotty, as always. G-Man, as always. Mr. Courtwright, Steve, Dad Dean. I'm probably going to forget someone. G-Man, did I say you already? Michael K, MNU. Yes, MNU, Michael K, Mr. Courtwright, Ender. And if I forgot any of you guys, that's on me. Sorry. Trying to go back as much as I can. End of the day, my view is Dolphins view is we're 5-2, number one in the AFC East, and that's a good thing. If you would have told me that, like I said at the beginning of the season, I would have snatched that right out of your hands. And I'd take that offer for sure. I get different people here with different views. That's what makes being a fan fun. We hear everyone's different takes. The one thing at Dolphin Thursday, we never wish anyone ever gets injured. We do not believe in anyone ever getting injured and wanting injury on any player in the league, in any sport, especially in football, where it's a brutal sport. So with all that said, it's fun watching this Dolphins team. Let's just keep it up there and have all of that. Thank you, Steve. As like I said, oh yes, guys, hit that like button. Yes, I want the ring too, man. I want those guys to get the ring too, Justin. I know what you mean. You just want them to win the ring. I agree. I want them to win that ring too, man, because that's at the end. That's what teams want. Thank you, G man. Fins up to you too, as always, guys. I just about out. Oh, but if you do ever order on Fanatics, you can do Dolphins Thirsty a little favor. We get a thread of the profit to help the channel, but just go to help the channel, nothing else. Believe me, I'm not going to go buy my fishing boat on what the little thread help I get, but it would be a big help to the channel for you guys if you're going to click that link anyway make a purchase on Fanatics. Do it through my website, do it through the description here, and it helps the channel. You guys all rock. Dolphins rock. 5-2, and I'm more with Scotty on this take, but I also appreciate other people's takes because that's what makes us all good. And like Steve Malloy often says, we may not always agree, but we do agree that we want the Dolphins to win. We may disagree on how we want them to get to that winning formula, but we all agree we want them to find that winning formula.
Fielder in the game, man, he knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you want to know. It's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings, cause they play to win.